Fire away, guys.
Coach, here tonight with the Rockets, I mean, you try to just put your focus on your team and getting better each and every single day, but what are the things that jump out to you about the way they're playing recently?
Well, they've been terrific, obviously. They've been terrific, and they were terrific against us last game. Part of us trying to get better is playing teams that are really, really good, and they have a unique style. They shoot 44 threes a game. Basically 10 more than the closest competitor. They know who they are. They're talented. They've got great leadership. Coach D'Antoni, that speaks for itself. His success and his acumen and the system and the style and what they embrace. So it's a tall order playing the Rockets right now.
If you look at his 7 seconds for less teams and this, would they look similar, different? How much has he evolved offensively?
Well, it's not for me to kind of analyze Coach D'Antoni's evolution, but I think there's obviously similarities if you want to compare, Chris and James Harden to Steve Nash, and they're that level players, all of those guys, Hall of Fame players. They've evolved, I think, with Capella and Nene, and I think right now they're playing great defense. I think the acquisition of P.J. Tucker and Mute and Capella's, progress and growth as a player just makes him really, really tough. Trevor Reese is still guarding his tail off, and they're a tough matchup for anybody.
I wanted to ask you about the offensive rebounds that Oklahoma City got at the end of the game on Tuesday, I guess. Do you have a sense of how those happened and kind of?
Yeah, we watched them all. I think there was more to it than that. I felt like that was important. That's giving up offensive rebounds at the end of a game is death. It's very difficult to win if you're giving them second shots. One of them came after a long free throw, and those are you look at it, whether you're boxing out the shooter or you're pinching. Some of it, Steven Adams, is tough to get off the glass. You need more than one guy. I think we got to gang rebound more. It's not like they were just blown assignments. We had one blown assignment early, but you have to find bodies, and oftentimes you're not going to get a clean rebound. You're going to have to tip it to yourself, or two guys are going to get it, or a guard's going to get it. We had Alec in there at the end. And one of the reasons we had him in was rebounding, and the ability to switch. When you get broken down, the way Westbrook breaks you down, and the way Paul George can break you down, you're susceptible to that. Carmelo on the post, when Rudy comes over to block a shot or make a play, you're exposed. And Steven Adams, that's what he's doing. That's late in the game. That's his offense, and that's the way that their team is structured, and it's effective. So. We've got to do a better job of it, but there's other things in that game that were as pivotal as the rebounding as well.
That's probably the best defender that Donovan Mitchell's come up against in his time, against Andre Robertson. How do you think he did against?
Well, considering that Robertson didn't pick up his first foul until 2 minutes in the game, and he's as physical and as long and as committed a defender as there is in the league, I think Donovan, he's going to continue to have to learn to play through, good physical defenders. And that was, I think, a real test for him. And he got tired, there's no question about that. But they're one of the better defensive teams in the league. They're a top 5 team. So I was pleased with how he handled that. And he'll continue to he's going to see people are going to blitz him more in pick and roll, which they did late. And Houston will probably do. He's got to be prepared for that. We've got to be prepared for that. And it's just part of Donovan's growth as a player.
With the loss of Gordon, and then you've had a lot of injuries this year. You've got a rookie who's playing really significant moments and minutes. What's your philosophy getting the best out of your players?
Well, I think first we lost Joe Johnson, who finished the game for us at the end of the year. Obviously Gordon and George Hill, and then Rudy went down. So we had one player that was left from, essentially our starting 5 in the playoffs. And I think what's required is our guys to really stay focused on all the little things that we can control, particularly on the defensive end. And then we've been a group that has really embraced sharing the ball, and we don't have. Donovan's emerging as a guy that can, really create his own shot. That's happened recently. So we've had to collectively play offense. We've had to drive the ball and kick the ball and pass it, and probably been more aggressive shooting threes. So I think philosophically it's the direction we want to go anyway. Derek Favors was terrific in Rudy's absence. So it's a kind of philosophically we want to be unselfish and want to move the ball, and that didn't change. And I think in a lot of ways that's helped us get through, some of the injuries and some of the, the departures, so to speak. And, hopefully it can be something that when we get guys back, we continue to play that way, and we're better for it.
When a young guy does what Donovan has done at this stage of his career and this stage of his rookie year, besides the contributions themselves, is it invigorating to other guys in that they can see the potential?
I think yes, and I think in the sense also the way that he's played. I think in spite of his usage rate, he's been incredibly unselfish. There was a couple games, 5 or 6 games ago, where I think it may have been Philadelphia, where he was attacking and he was scoring, and then the game evolved, and all of a sudden other people were open. So I think in New Orleans, when he had that big night, there was a play at the end of the game where he got attacked, and he skipped the ball to Joe Ingles across the court to the high quadrant for a 3. And I think it's plays like that your teammates embrace when they know that you're about winning and not about your game and your scoring and your development. It's not about Donovan. Donovan doesn't make it about himself, and I think that's guys respect that. And then if you play both ends, that's the other thing. That if you're a rookie and you're committed defensively, he's still going to have breakdowns, but you're taking pride in your defense. That's about the team, and that's the other thing I think that guys respect about him. And we've got a group that there isn't, jealousy amongst his teammates. They're just not wired that way. And that's a credit to them. That they're trying to help him score. They're trying to help him get open, because he's trying to do the right thing and make the right play.
You talk a lot about this miss or make league. How much is your offensive success right now, do you feel, predicated on just making threes specifically?
Well, I mean, we're not. It's not like we're shooting more than we have, but we have a different team. We're playing. We have guys that if they pass that shot up, they're not going to be able necessarily to create another shot. They have to use that advantage, whether it's driving a closeout or whatever. So I think philosophically, we're not that different. Guys are finding their roles within kind of a system that is predicated on ball movement. Sometimes that ball movement occurs, earlier in the possession, and that generates more open looks earlier in the clock, which is what we've pointed towards. But I don't know that we're completely dependent upon the 3 as much as no more than any other team. I mean, you're going to have those nights, and one of the challenges for our guys was to keep shooting them even if you're missing them, because that's the only way you make them is if you shoot them. And really the biggest thing for us is let's just try to get open ones. If they're open shots, whatever they are, 3s, 2s, the rim, that's what we want to try to generate.
Okay. Thank you.
You want to talk real quick?